almost need Teresa. I almost need you here to. Oh, maybe I wasn't. Oh, okay. It was saying I was live. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to another day in the Milky Way. Trina, I hope you're out there. Just click that same link. I see Al was in the house. I got it. See, Lori, your cards were reading the same. So I'm gonna be busy here for a second, and I am gonna do some stuff here. I don't know what the heck actually I do know what the heck I'm doing, but in the same aspect, I'm trying to do two things at once. But Lori, your cards were right on. See, I plow through things, and I just keep going and going and going and going until I get the job done. And that's what I do. So anyway, besides that, Big Al, if you're in the house, I'm sending you a link if you want to come on and talk about your cards. I know we're a little limited on time today, so it is what it is, you know. And we'll be right on here. Don't you all worry, because you know what? I got this covered. We always manage to have some show because I have due diligence. That's what it is. And I get things done. And see, just like anything else, I'm on, I'm here, we're doing our thing. Anyway, never give up and never surrender. Absolutely. And I never give up and I never surrender. So, oh, Milky's mom's in the house, and I'll chat with all of you a little bit. We got all kinds of people here, and I got so much to tell you. It's unbelievable. Oh, I got to get another light because I have shadows here, you know, see the shadows, because I like to do this as best I can. And you see, we got our thing here. Marsha's got this presentation ready to go, and I'll get that up and going. And we got Lucky Stones in the house. And we got Michelle, Can-Am Free. Hey, how you doing? We got Doug Stack, and I'm getting you on here, Doug. I tell you, if I got to pull you out by your pinky fingers, we're going to get you on. And Milky's mom's in the house. Hey, Brenda, how you doing? Teresa, thank you for sending out the notifications today. I don't know what I'd do without you. Scotty boy, how you doing? Deborah Truax, much love to you too. And we got Lori Duran, Doug Stack, Lori and Posey's in the house. I seen David Castle's in the house. Thank you all for sticking with me and staying on. Let's see. Yep, see, it's finally come through. It says I'm on. Oh, we had all kinds. Steve, Slightly Slanted Sleuth is on. Hey, buddy. He's gonna teach me how to do some fishing one of these days when I go to Minnesota. Maybe. I'm gonna get there. Don't you worry. I'm determined. I got the truck all fueled up and I'm ready to make a trip. And I am heading out. I'm gonna go to Wisconsin one of these days and do my thing. But anyway, and I'm gonna swing by and he's gonna show me how to fish. Maybe. Either that or just visit. What the heck? And I hope to visit with all of you all someday, because you know what? Hello. Hey, Trina. Now I'm just waiting for Marsha.
She said she couldn't get on the link. Oh, hold on.
Well, isn't that what you said the last time? Well, last time you said that. She couldn't get on. I think she tries it too fast or something. It's the same link. It's the same link. So, okay. You know, I did the thing. But anyway, I was telling everybody I had a really good week. Not the clock. I don't know what not the clock is. We got Gaza Cav in the house. Yeah, Doug Stack says, yeah, Wisconsin does have some of the best cheese curds. I love the cheese curds from Wisconsin. By the time they get to North Dakota, they're all, you know, you buy the ones here and they're not just squeaky fresh, because in Wisconsin, I could go right to the factory. They got one right in my hometown there, and you just go and get them, and they got them. Anyway, I watched this wonderful movie this week, and I hope you all watched it someday or another, and it's with Robin Williams. It's called Patch Adams. And I loved the movie. It wasn't so much of a doctor movie or whatever it was, but I love the message it sent. He was talking about connecting with people. It's all about connecting with people. And he would say hi to people, and he would call about, that was back in the days at the party line or whatever. And he's like, I just dialed numbers and I called people and I said, hey, hello. And he says, one guy I had a 3-hour conversation with. I thought that, Marsha, neither link works for me. Don't worry, Marsha, I will send you another link.
I just sent her one too.
Oh, okay. It's the same link you were on. I didn't change the link. I just shut everything down, and then I rebooted YouTube, and I rebooted this, and I don't know what I did, but I got on. Maybe I was just having too much on, but it's the same link, Marsha. Try that. Anyway, yeah, if you send her the link already, thank you. But anyway, Patch Adams, he was all about sending that message that said, you know, a smile at somebody. And he was going around with this guy in the beginning of the movie, and they were talking, and he was saying, here, watch this, you know, and he was like, hi, you know, and the guy's, well, look at that, took me 6 minutes to get a response out of her. Oh, that took me 30 seconds, you know, look at, see, there's always a response. When you interact with somebody, you are connecting with them, even if it's just a smile at them, say hi, wave, you know, like when I was in Wisconsin, when I was a kid, the people would drive down the road. Here, we'll do the driving down the road thing. Okay. I'm not a good driver here today. Okay.
Hey, you know
I'll be
what?
crashing.
It's crazy. The energy's off the hooks. You know, I almost got hit 3 times driving on the way to work today.
Holy cow.
I literally had a guy almost run me off the freeway because he was just getting off the ramp while I was getting on the ramp. He didn't even see me. I mean, literally did not even see me 3 times today. So the energy seems a little bit off.
Yeah, I'm worried about that. I really am. I really am. So anyway, he's, you know, it's like, what was I talking about? Driving down the road.
Yes, driving down the road.
Oh yeah, back in the day. Remember when the people drive down the road, they, you know, they'd wave, they just wave their hand, or they wave like this and they drive. So when I got to North Dakota, that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about being in North Dakota, was when I'm driving down the road, everybody waved to you. It didn't matter if you knew them. And I'm like, I just got here to North Dakota and that guy's waving to me. I thought that was
the host has another meeting in progress.
She's clicking on the wrong link.
Oh shit.
Tell her to use the last link. I'll just resend it to her.
Okay.
Okay. Tell her to use the link I'm sending to her now.
Okay.
And I will resend it out. I sent Big Al one too, because I know he wants to come on and talk about his cards. And
oh, right on.
You know, I mean,
you need to get down, big boy. I see you. Yes, everybody can see you.
Because now everybody, please go out, buy a deck of cards. I know a lot of people can't afford a lot, but you know, Al put a lot of work into that.
Yes, he did. And they're gorgeous.
They're nice. Yes, they're very nice. And there's all of us on them. And, you know, people might have different thoughts about them, like this, that, or the other. But you know what? It's fun. And it's a tribute to Brian. And it's just telling me that we're all together. You know, I mean, you could make it what you want, but I'm making it into a positive thing. And, you know, I ordered some decks, and when I get a couple of decks extra, I ordered 3. Oh, there's Marsha. I ordered 3 decks, and I'm going to have 1 deck for myself, and I'm going to give 2 decks away to you people out there. But I really want you all to at least order a deck. Order one for yourself. It's a I'm going to order 2. It's a souvenir for you for whatever, you know. It ain't like Al's going to make another. Once he gets 1 order in, that's going to be it. There probably won't be a second or third edition or a 4th edition. It's going to be 1 edition, people. And if you don't get them, you're not going to get them.
Right. That's
Marsha, glad you could make it back a 3rd time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy moly.
What a time. But you know what? The important part is we're here and we made it. And this is going to be a great presentation. You did such a good job of putting it all together, and I really appreciate it. You are just an inspiration to all of us for that. And all the stuff you do and all the things you make, and you put in so many hours. I tell you, that is unbelievable. Good for you. And I don't know how you do it.
I know,
Oh,
right?
everybody else works just as hard.
Oh yeah, we all work hard, but still, you put in a lot of effort. I mean, but the thing is we're giving you recognition for putting effort. There's a lot of people that think they put in a lot of effort, and they really don't. So, but I know you do.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're talented.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, your products are powerful.
Absolutely.
Well, a good thing is this is not a very long presentation. And it's just my thoughts that I've put together during the course of my research of how, what I think about reincarnation versus, well, I called it reincarnation, or is it reincarceration? And of course,
It's gonna be
I'd
one or
love
the other.
Trina's views on it and Robert's. Ready when y'all are.
I'm like, absolutely.
Oh,
Give us what you got, girl. I can't wait to hear.
Put my eyes on.
Absolutely. I would have to put mine on too.
Oh, can you see all that? Is it coming up on your screen?
Well, I do have trouble because
Yeah, you got it. You're on a
your
phone, aren't you?
pictures over here.
Okay,
So it will
I'm
cut
watching
off
it on the
part of
YouTube
it.
thing, and yes, it's coming up. So don't worry, we got it. It's all right. We're doing it.
I'm wondering if I could, I can't do anything. I'm wondering if I can adjust the screen somehow. Because
Your
when it
screen,
gets to
don't
this,
or are you reading it off your screen, or are you reading it off your thing?
well, I can
I'll adjust. I'll run the
pictures over here.
slides. I'll run the slides, and you read.
can you move the pictures on top, or do they have to be over here on the side, Robert?
I can move them here, like there.
You understand what I'm saying?
What do you mean? These little pictures or the big picture?
The picture, what I'm seeing is me, you, and Trina, and these little squares over here. And then here's the presentation, the PowerPoint, but I'll pull it up on my phone.
Yeah,
Just-
I can't.
Yeah.
I've moved them over as much as I can, but I can't do any more than that.
Yeah, I think watching on our phone is going to be way easier.
I might have to do some reading.
Yes.
So we got reincarnation or reincarceration. A lot of people think that we're reincarnated over and over. It's something positive. It's like a school for the soul. But I happen to think otherwise.
Right.
So my main question is, if reincarnation is real, why aren't we allowed to remember our past lives? And I kind of answered myself. It's because incarnating here on earth is a trap. The notion that earth is a school for the soul to learn and grow is utter bullshit. Excuse my language. But that is the truth to me. It's all lies. It's lies to keep us seeds of light. And I can't see that word.
What?
Sorry.
Lies to keep us seeds of life in prison, in
Prison or
physically.
physicality.
Yeah.
Think about it. What are our bodies made of? Cells. Our human bodies here on earth have been tweaked and altered to ultimately trap and imprison infinite beings like you and I. Not being allowed to retain our memories of past lives is crucial for this reincarnation soul trap to work.
Mm-hmm.
We are all fractals of source God energy. We are beings of infinite awareness and intelligence. As God beings, we have the ability to create entire universes with mere thought. Take, for example, dreams. They aren't just dreams. They are non-physical realms created by the power of our subconscious minds and are just as real as this physical third density plane. We are incredibly powerful, and as infinite beings, there is nothing for us to learn, especially here on prison planet Earth.
Yeah.
And like I said, these are my notes. It's not, I don't have any references. This is my thoughts that I've put together.
We love it. I love your
researching.
Absolutely.
Why must we continue to be born into a world of financial enslavement? Why must we continue to reincarnate here and experience all this pain and suffering lifetime after lifetime? In my opinion, we don't.
Yep.
It's all a hoax to keep us God beings reincarnating over and over again. What?
Sorry.
He's agreeing with you.
I thought that was one of y'all making a noise.
Put her a little 2 cents
Oh, you
in.
want me to stop? It's all a hoax to keep us God beings reincarnating over and over again, and to keep us from our true selves as eternal seeds of light. All we truly need is to remember who and what we are and understand that we have been caught and ultimately trapped inside this prison matrix. Now that you have a basic understanding of the true nature of reality, it is
Important to understand.
who created this matrix and why. Yeah, it's going to cut off some words
That's
up
what I
here. So if
figured.
you can see, Trina, you
Yeah.
want to go ahead and read that?
Yeah. We can take turns and stuff. You don't have to read it all. I mean, if you can't see it, we can read it for you. I got a good picture of it too.
Okay.
Yeah. To put it simply, this matrix was created by the archons, also known as the Anunnaki, reptilian, greys, among others. The illuminated and the elites worship these beings as their gods. However, they are no more gods than you and I, or they are just as much gods as you and I. Oh, sorry, I messed that up.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it, Robert. It's because this is hard for me
Oh,
to
okay.
call on my phone too.
Okay.
It's very difficult.
Okay. However, they are no more gods than you and I, or are they just as much gods as you and I? Archons, or archon is simply a name or a label for these beings who have an agenda, and that is to control and dominate beings like me and you. Why? Because that's who they are. They are parasitic beings by nature who feed on our negative energy. That's why there's so much chaos on Earth. Manipulated wars, false flag attacks like 9/11, all those so-called terrorist attacks, and more recently, the mass shootings are all implemented and calculated by this group. We are their cattle.
Like their cattle. Based upon evidence, it seems that negative energy absorbing beings use various means to keep the human races within a fear-based low resonate frequency, which causes division, mistrust, and warring, where these beings are then able to feast upon the negative energy our emotions create. It also seems that those who are aware of this, just that awareness raises the resonant frequency of those individuals above the fear-based frequency fence, protecting the knower from the fear-based programming. If so, then it is knowledge which helps protect us, and it is ignorance which endangers our beingness.
Oh, you too. Seriously.
That was a scary growl. Beware of any being who approaches you in your afterlife, especially the plastic Jesus. They are not who they say appear to be. Anyone who approaches you immediately after death most likely works for the archons. They may even pretend to be angels or your family and friends who passed before you, even pets. Also beware of the tunnel of light. It may be a reset button where you immediately mind wiped and sent back to Earth for another reincarnation. Do not enter. You must remain vigilant, especially when you pass on from this dimension. Do not be fooled, and do not let anyone convince you that you need to come back here. I mean, I remember Brian saying many times that he was not coming back here. This would be his last time.
I remember him saying that too. I do. And it's like, when I think about it, it's like, it's going to be interesting to be able to have an awareness that, this isn't all that there is. So you can actually get curious about what's outside of all of this. And I do think it's a huge concept. And, but I do think it's something to be looked at. Oh, seriously, Huskies.
And, this kind of coincides with the last show that I did on Milky Way Soul Tribe. It's being aware of the afterlife consciousness and awareness. There's so many books that speaks of something's going to be there to greet us. And there's so many people talk about this bright light. So there's obviously going to be some sort of manipulation when we cross over, or someone trying to mess with us and manipulate us.
I totally think so. It seems like everybody says that, but there's the light and people greet you. And that's
Yeah.
pretty consistent through almost all of the people who have had any kind of near-death experiences or actually have died for a while and come back to talk about it.
Yeah, and
I mean, it's pretty consistent.
it is. I remember there was a guy at work, he was working for the other company. I met up with him and he said he died, 3 times. And the one time he died, he said just that. He said he's seen the light. There was relatives there. He felt really loved. I wanted to get an interview with him, but I messed that up because he wasn't there anymore. But anyway, he said he'd do one too. But anyhow, the thing was, he said after that, he was never afraid to die again. He said that the other side it made him feel so good and loved that, coming back here was like almost torture kind of, in some weird way.
And that's I think the number one case of the evidence for this whole idea or thought is the fact that not one single person that gets out of their body and starts to go through the death process, the ones that have memory of the things that transpired during that experience, none of them said that like being here was better than there. So if it's so great there, then why are we still coming back here?
Mm-hmm.
If they don't want to
Well,
come back here, then why would we want to come back here after we died? I mean, why? So it does seem to be like there's some type of a loop people get stuck in.
have attachments here. You have your family, things that bring you back here.
I think you're right. I think it's our own desire.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
me,
wonder if that's what the whole thing about in the Nag Hammadi when Jesus was talking about to hate your mother and hate your father and to learn to hate all these things, because he was talking about the things of the world, the things of the flesh.
yeah, I did a study on that. I mean, the word wasn't hate, but I mean the way it was written in the Bible, it's you must hate your mother and father if you're gonna follow me. It's like he was always kind of indifferent to his family.
Yes, he was. I noticed that too. And like I said,
I mean,
when I was little and I used to communicate with this being that most people would assume would be the Jesus person, it was very amazing because when you hear about the standoffishness with his family and stuff, like what I could remember of him was that in the lifetime when he was he was a rebel, hardcore rebel. And what do teenagers typically do if they're rebels with their parents? They're pretty standoffish.
yeah.
So yeah, that kind of works in my brain. Yeah.
So me personally, I do not plan on coming back here, at least not while it remains under our contact control. It's easier to comprehend when you understand that there are planets and civilizations that are not controlled by the archons. In these civilizations, memories of past lives remain intact from lifetime to lifetime, which is how it should be. I plan to incarnate on one of these free worlds, and I suggest you do the same or not incarnate at all.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just my opinion. There is no learning if we keep getting mind wiped. Having our minds wiped over and over again is like graduating preschool and then getting mind wiped and starting preschool all over again. Does that make sense to you?
No. I could see if it was a process of like, okay, you came down for this experience to experience the total separation and receive the amnesia, but to be stuck in it over and over and over and over again, that's the definition between I think that's a trap. But then on the other hand too, I also see it as like, okay, if it was a level of education and you never figure it out, you don't get to graduate. So you're kind of stuck, but you might be stuck because of your own self. So it could maybe not be a trap, and it could be a product of your own lack of understanding that there's more than just what you remember. So I mean, I can see it from both aspects, and both aspects though seem like they both have unfair advantages because we don't remember.
So it is not mine. Oh, what happened?
I don't know. I saw something about the host, but I couldn't see what it said. We might have lost Robert.
Yeah, we definitely lost Robert.
I think we did lose Robert. He'll come
Did we
back.
go off again?
He'll be right back. Yeah, Marsha, there's so much to that this is some kind of it could be a trap, and it could be a loop. I mean, when you think about it, even our sun and our moon make the figure 8, which is an infinite loop.
Mhm.
Our system, all the cells are wrapped in a membrane, and a membrane, it's like the membrane. Is that what wipes the memory? The membrane, because when you get encapsulated into the cell, is that what causes the amnesia from source?
The
Is it,
membrane encapsulates
yes,
everything.
say, does it have something to do with being
It's
inside
like,
of the membrane?
it's a very strong, it's thin, but it keeps anything. I mean, it's difficult to penetrate the.
Correct. That's what I mean.
cellular.
So it's like we get into atom, and as soon as we get into the atomic structures, we literally become completely separate because we're
Mhm.
wrapped in that membrane, which is unique to your spark, whatever. So, but yeah, I keep seeing all of these loops, and then we look at, the old systems that they would show the Ouroboros and how that's the serpent eating its tail. It's showing you that it looks like this system is about being in a loop, but well, I think we're realizing that we can now get out of it finally after a very long time. But I think it took a lot of getting to levels of consciousness before you could process that option. And until
I
that
think it
option
was
is processed, you're stuck.
David Icke that said he was asked, and it was a video about reincarnation, and he was asked, if you were given the choice to reincarnate back to Earth, would you? And he said, no. If I could make a difference, if this place was different and I could come back here and knew I could make a difference, then yes, I would. But he goes, not the way it is right now. I would not choose to come back here.
You know what? I share that same idea. I would love to, I would love to be here to reestablish a garden, because this planet is a beautiful garden. It's a
Yeah, it
library.
is.
It's a beautiful library of nature. And I think it's very unique because it doesn't appear that there's a lot of life on other planets on the exterior of the planets. So this is a very unique little situation we got going on here. And I truly do believe.
No, because we're considered blind and we don't see that much. So, I mean, there might be other planets that are as equally beautiful. This just
That's
is
true.
supposed to be
I
a
wonder, I always think about most planets. I think that they may not have life on the outside, but I think almost all of them have civilizations on the inside. And the
yeah.
inside of their planets might be similar to our planet. From what they've been saying, it's potential that we do have inner Earth
Yeah, and
stuff.
our inner Earth might be just amazing. Like,
Absolutely. I mean, that's profound to think of bodies of water as big as the ones we have on the surface, and an internal light source. And wow, then to find out our brains are liquid crystals. Imagine if the inner core of our planet was like a liquid crystal in essence, kind of like
Shambhala is
our
supposed to
brain.
be there.
Huh?
Shambhala is supposed to be there. I've always wanted to go there.
Yes. I've heard of Shambhala in two different ways. I've heard it as of a city in the sky, and I literally know a guy who claims that he literally saw it in the sky. And then I have heard the stories about it being an inner Earth as well as Gartha and Telos.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's an interesting world we live on. Think about it. We don't even know like half of what's even available on our own planet. We don't know.
Yeah, this is a beautiful place. It's rich in resources, which is probably the interest in it, I
Yeah,
think.
and think about too, like the depths of the Mariana Trench. I mean, there's beautiful tales of fantasy cities down there and all kinds of neat stuff. So there's so much, like I said, that we just truly haven't
Yeah,
even
this is a
explored
beautiful
of our own
place.
planet.
It's rich in resources, which is probably.
Say it again, Marsha.
Oh, I didn't say
I'm back.
anything.
There's Robert. Yay, he's
Robert.
back.
Yay.
Thought I heard something. Yeah.
I know. It was like, I think it shut you down for a second, but I'm here. Don't you worry. Keep going on. I've been paying attention on the phone, watching it go by.
That's not my intention to put down or promote negative thoughts or pessimism. As much as I wish none of this were true, that just isn't the case. It is what it is, and the sooner we all wake up and remember who and what we are, gods with amnesia, the sooner we can truly make a difference here on earth.
Yeah.
Now, this is like, I mean, this is where I get kind of positive. I think that we might can make a difference if we can remember. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that's I will say that's my greatest gift is when I was a little, the Lord would always tell me, don't forget, you guys came here to be like Jesus, which meant activating these abilities that, you know, are natural to us. And, you know, that's literally, if people want to say, you know, that we are one of the same of the creator that created us, which means that, you know, that would be deemed a God. So if that is true, then we need to start acting like it. And I do think that that is a real potential for humanity, because I was told it from the time I was 3 years old, and I had no idea that this would be, you know, for one, difficult until I was older. Then I realized how difficult it would be to do the things that he claimed to have done: walking on water, healing the blind, raising the dead. I was like, those are some pretty big shoes to fill. But when I was 3, I didn't know any of that. So I was just like, oh, okay, we're going to be like you. I was like, excellent, cool, we can do that. You know, I didn't have any disbelief in it. So, it, you know, I think 90% of what's going on with us is what we believe about what we are.
Yeah. I'm on slide 12, Robert.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm working on it.
We're almost finished, except for what Trina might have to add. The sad reality is that nothing related to reincarnation is positive the way it's done here on Earth, or was put in place as a learning experience. Reincarnation is not a naturally occurring process when discussing our reality. It's only a naturally occurring process when we can make a conscious choice to incarnate for our own personal reasons, such as a learning experience. When talking about natural law, incarnation is something sacred, where conscious energy can make a choice to incarnate in a specific realm or universe within the multiverse as a way to experience life in a physical body. Use the experience as a means of learning and understanding the beauty of the physical. Yeah. What we have in this reality before the reincarnation moon tech was supposedly disabled, and I'm not sure where I got that from. I don't know that it is disabled. You know, that's something it's a theory, is akin to never-ending abuse, energy siphoning, looshing. These beings that have held humans here are hiding the secrets of our existence and feeding us a bunch of religious bullshit to trap us into worshiping their false idols and symbols, which is, again, another method of siphoning our energy. When your entire reality is based on lies, false history, false religions, false theories, false idols, etc., it's very hard to learn anything of value. This is why our current lives are nothing short of profound.
You know, I got something to say on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
He says false, 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 false. Well, what do they say? If you're going to tell a big lie, tell a real big one. It sounds more like the truth. Oh, I think I heard that somewhere.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny too, because I after learning so many things, you start learning about service to self and service to others. And it was really funny because yeah, and when in my younger years, I was explained that the false idol worship is you thinking you're real. I was like, whoa, that was a lot to process when I was young. So it took me a long time to even really understand what that meant. But something inside me was like, I knew it was right, but I couldn't explain how it was right. And now that I understand that the body is temporary, but the spirit and soul, those are immortal, eternal parts of you. And this part is just temporary. So that would make it not Phew, sorry. That would make it not permanent. So it's kind of makes it false because it's not eternal like the eternal part of you. But it took me many years to understand that. But I think it helped me understand a little bit about the world that we were in, because when it was explained to me that I was not in actuality real, that only, the creator is real, that this is all temporary, everything here is an entropy and everything here dies, and it's supposed to. And I was like, wow, that's kind of profound to look at us as it's even in your human body as a beautiful experience and a part of soul and spirit. The part of you that right now is existing, this part is temporary.
So that last sentence, this is why our current lives are nothing short of profound, because we are living in a reality where we actually become aware of the true nature of life. And we're finally starting to understand who we are and why we've been trapped here this whole time. This in itself is amazing. We could have lived 100 lives without ever reaching this type of knowledge and understanding. Yet here we are, years away from the matrix reset, earth reset cycle from completing. And I don't know if that's going to be a cataclysm. It probably will, and it probably isn't the first time we've been through one. We may have been through hundreds at this point.
I heard an interesting thing today, that we are finally getting out of the we've been going through a black hole, and we're finally getting to the event horizon where we're going to punch through and get to the other side of it. What do you think about that?
I have heard that. I haven't looked too much into it yet, though.
What do you think? Do you think that's a possible? I mean, we've heard stuff about this event horizon. I always wonder. I'm like, because we've entered into a new age, a new position into the solar system. I want, and there's such a feeling that this is such a monumental time. I mean, I'm sure other major events through our timelines felt really urgent too. But this feels really like it's a big deal.
This feels, yeah, like,
Big
I mean,
deal.
something
Yeah.
big going to happen at
Yeah,
any
it
moment.
does.
All the planets are lining up to their original position, but every time it does that is a cataclysm.
Yeah.
But think about, I don't know, for some reason, I'm not in fear of a cataclysm. It's rebirth. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, it'd be bad. Oh, I just like this meme. Those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it.
Yes, and that is so true. And I think that's why, I heard another theory too, a few days ago about with, I think it was Wayne that was talking about how the Earth cycle is only about 1,000 years, and then they wipe the slate and reboot everything again and make sure they stay in control that way. That would really make sense if this was a control tactic to keep us under control. There would be no better way to do it than to have amnesia and remove all traces of history.
Yeah.
The best way to do it. Yeah. And then make you be brought into worship constructs to give your power away. So you
I say that's what I worry about. We are at this stage where we're waking up and we're getting the picture. We're seeing what's going on, what's really going on here, how they're using our energy. It's like a food source. And of course, that's why I understand this reincarnation is not a positive thing, because it's like we don't have a choice. They want us as many coming back, recycling back through here, because it's energy. We're like the battery source for this place, the power, the energy source for this place.
Yeah, and I wonder what the magic is about being able to reproduce versus not being able to organically reproduce. I keep saying, hearing that at the end of this experience of this lifetime, that we will have a complete comprehension of the importance of the books of life. And I don't really understand what that all means yet, but I know that there's something very important about it, and I just don't know exactly what it is yet.
Yet. That's always
Yeah.
it. Yet.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. There's something about that. There's something, because it seems like a lot of these races are coming down here to harness genetics, and they wouldn't be doing that if they could reproduce on their own. So there is something apparently very sacred and special and magical about being able to reproduce.
Yeah,
So
our DNA. I mean, that's the one thing we do own and control, and they want to own it and control it. I mean, it's very obvious, but they're trying, and this is what I worry about, because of the fact that we are at this pivotal point where we are awakening. They always, anytime humanity gets to that level, they always do a reset.
yes.
So, and I do see that taking place right now.
I think like what we're seeing right now with modifications and stuff like that happening, it seems to me that this has been a pretty consistent agenda, and I think that this has been happened once upon a time in the ancient stories of Egypt and the ancient stories of Atlantis. I see this happening on both of those cataclysmic timeline events.
Yeah.
Looked almost identical to what we're in right now.
Well, and what you just said there is actually, scientifically provable, because I've read stories where they're like, here's this language and it's really advanced. Here's the mathematics. Here's the buildings. Here's everything. It's way up here and all this technological. And then as the society progresses, all the technology goes away. And it literally, if it was on a graph, it would be like, we're shooting up.
Crazy.
And then it would.
Yeah, our once upon a times with these monoliths and stuff, we still cannot build these. I mean,
Enough.
Yeah.
This is amazing technology. And, I just think that this is the way it goes. So, but it's like, there's gonna, I believe, through this process, that we are something new and different in physicality. And I do think that is because of our genetics. And I think through the remembering and the reclaiming of, just wanting to know more and have an affinity to what you are and trusting what you are is more than just your body, but acknowledging that is a very important part as well. But understanding that through that magical gift of you and the awareness that you are more than just this existence, I think that's pretty much all that's needed to have choices when you eventually do leave.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all see any of my posts, but I've been posting a little bit about Tartaria, the empire that's been hidden and why it had to be obscured. I posted a really interesting post and about how the timeline went of that reset, that particular reset. Very, very interesting. I'll send you I took screenshots of the video, and it's a short video about it, but it sounds so much like what actually is happening.
Can you give a basic rough draft of what it said? Because I've seen a little bit about that, but not a lot. But it's fascinating to me because it resonates.
Well, it shows, or it tells how like they brought about the religion aspect of it, like totally, brainwashed big time. So many people that had that knowledge that, of course, they eradicate them. And so then you got the children, the younger generation. So that's how they bring them up. And there was something that, that happened that destroyed all those old buildings. But I mean, there's still some standing that we can see a remnant of that past world.
Yeah, there's quite a few in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then the thing is, why would they build such, this is the idiocracy they're trying to push off, and a lot of people just believe it, is why would they build such a big giant monument when the people back in the day were so they're living in grass huts and building a pyramid the size of the Empire State Building kind of thing. You see what I'm saying? The logic is not there. And besides that, it's like the pyramids. Oh, they built the pyramids, blah, 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 blah. But, you got to think of all the people it would have took to build those pyramids. How many people? Say you had a kingdom and you devoted a 200,000 men to build the pyramids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you need people to cook for the 200,000 men, to feed them every day. Then you need 10,000 farmers to plow the fields and plant the food and the warehouses and stuff to store the food and get the food for the 200,000 men working. Then you need an army of another 100 or 200,000 men to protect those men that are working. And then you need families and other things. You need shipbuilders to build the ships to transport the goods. You need
Medicine,
people on the road. So you're literally have a society that's working and doing everything focused on just building that pyramid. That's it.
I have this pulled up. If you think we have time to read a little bit of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's why Tartaria had to be obscured at all costs, a possible timeline in 1000 AD. And, supposedly they added 1,000 years to our calendar. So 1000 AD, a globally connected civilization gets destroyed and flooded due to an unknown event. Possibly high-tech and highly spiritual humans become divided into multiple fractions, different languages develop. Before this, no modern oceans existed, and the earth was 3 equal parts with rivers in between and small oceans at both North and South Pole. Africa, Libya, Europa, Asia, all named after prominent leaders from that time. Up to 1400 AD, kingdoms and authorities get established. Trading flourishes, money is used extensively. Between 1400 and 1500 AD, another global catastrophe happens. Earth is expanding and the oceans are created, as well as modern America. Most of the kingdoms suffer greatly. Climate gets a bit worse. The last survivors of the pre-flood civilization die out, giants, as well as mythical creatures like dinosaurs and unicorns, and failures from genetic experiments. Between 1400 and 1700 AD, kingdoms are being reestablished. Life goes on, even though it's a bit more difficult than before. The 4 seasons are established. Some people start to create religion because after the 1400 catastrophe, the memories of what the Gnostics and other groups tried to achieve fades away. The independent Gnostic groups fight against the corrupt church institutions in Central Europe and elsewhere. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. They understand the evil creates pyramidal chain of commands that transcend individuals. Writings are shared between these groups, which are rewritten by the church during 1600 to 1800 and published as the Bible. The 30 Years' War in the 17th century is an encrypted and highly distorted memory of that fight. The church decides to add 1,000 years to recent history and invents a new calendar, which is to be enforced globally. Competing native calendars are destroyed and the accompanying myths alongside. In 1690, another global cataclysm hits with a second earth expanding event. I don't know, y'all want me to keep on? It's like 3 more slides.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
In 1690 AD, another global cataclysm hits with the second Earth expanding event. Climate gets really bad and the dark forces begins to envelop the globe. This event destroys most technological knowledge of the past and creates the last survivors of ancient kingdoms, but their power is gone. The institutional churches and secret societies from Europe use this event to colonize the entire world and rewrite history on every continent. New maps and narratives are being created. The remnants of Tartary and other civilization get overrun between 1690 and 1850 due to their military weakness. Science is established between 1690 and 1850 and tries to destroy all previous knowledge about cataclysms, religion, and cosmology. Another cataclysm happens 1816 with the year without a summer. And they say we're coming up on another year without a summer as a surviving concept. It doesn't destroy as much structures as the other events before, but it costs many people their lives and gives rise to industrialization. The small group connected to the European churches has secretly kept some of the pre-1816 knowledge and slowly reintroduces some of that knowledge to society. This is known as the industrial age to the uninitiated. 1900, people still remember some parts of the true history, and the decision is being made to invent communism to destroy all the remaining high culture in the eastern parts of the world, and the two world wars are enough to destroy the remaining knowledge in the West as well. 1950 to 2050, 2050 and beyond. With most of the true history successfully erased, the effort is being made to reestablish a global civilization with most people living in crowded cities, but this time under full control of those behind the church and secret societies. The idea is to change humans into asexual slaves, suppressing or even erasing the godly spark on the genetic level. Those who are seeing what should be hidden may have come from the enlightened ones. Seems that there are many of us who are in awe of and have immense respect for what once was a longing, and we can't let it go.
Okay, so I missed some of the first part. You were going so fast. I'm writing stuff down, and I'm like,
I can send it to you.
No. Yeah, well, that'd be good. But I was picking out stuff that you were saying, like in 1690, something about, and then there was something in 1690, and I remember about that, and looking at some of these maps and things. I was researching maps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about Antarctica and how it's, not been frozen. And then they have maps of Antarctica, right? Mm-hmm. Well, at some point in time, there was the leg of South America went down to Antarctica, dividing the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. There was something that happened at some point in time that collapsed that area of land about 200 miles, letting the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans intertwine, changing the climate. But that cataclysm was caused by something in the Pacific Ocean that happened because, and I can't put a date on, a thumbnail date on it, but history tells us that around the year 1700, there was a big giant earthquake, and there was a giant tsunami or something that came inland, or the ground moved or whatever. And I was watching a History Channel show or something on that, where all these trees are now in a swamp when they used to be up above, and they were going through the layers of dirt, and dirt don't lie. And they were saying, yeah, here's when this happened, and there's records of the Indians talking about that mm-hmm. There was this, and that was all around that same point in time, around 1690 to 1700, that this happened. They believe maybe a meteor, or there was a giant earthquake in the Pacific Ocean, making this big giant wave that hit the North American coast. And it also, went down as far as South America there, wiping out that 200 miles. And once, all you have to do is, if the Pacific Ocean is here and the Atlantic is here, and that breaks away, it's just, that's a lot of water. It's going to erode a lot of things. And poof, 200 miles gone, changing the climate, freezing over Antarctica. you know, and then it's a snowball effect after that.
Yeah.
Trina, you're not talking. No.
Okay, sorry.
Oh.
You know what I find amazing too is a lot of these ancient places, there's lots of stuff that you can literally see that was removed so we wouldn't be able to view it. It's just, it makes so much sense when you start seeing all the stuff come together. It's like, it seems to be like we've done this before and before and before and before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
over
for
and over.
whatever reason, if we can remember that, obviously that's not good, or they wouldn't have gone to such extremes to make sure that that wasn't possible. So,
Resetting, so, and erasing history,
Yep.
mind erasure. There's never anything good about that. That is nefarious. That's
yes,
Yeah.
it
Well,
is.
the people, the thing is too, is the beings that are higher up than us or whatever happens, they erase our minds. But as you get here on the planet itself, and that the people we have to deal with, they can't erase our minds, so they're erasing our history that we actually see. And so you got it at both ends. You got these people erasing the history at the same time. You got the other guys erasing the minds of the people afterwards. It's like a full cycle. You know, we wipe their minds, and the new ones coming in are fresh newbies. They don't know nothing.
Mhm.
yeah.
I think that there's something to that, and I think there's also something to the fact that if they don't get rid of the things that have emotional imprints, because it seems to me like when we see these things,
Hmm.
somehow it brings back the memory.
Triggers.
Yeah. So it seems to me why they must have realized many years ago, many years ago, that this was important to remove these things that would trigger the memories. But you know what? There's something within us that we have access to the energy part of our Akashic records. And that exists beyond the third dimension in the fourth and fifth dimensionals. So those records are there, but we've never had access to them. I mean, I'm sure we have in time when the technology and stuff got advanced, then they get wiped again. But like I said, I've seen this happen over and over again. And this consciousness where we're at right now, I think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm
it is.
wondering how it's going to happen when them planets all align and the magnetism on the Earth, you know, because it's going to be in the center. You seen that, didn't you?
Big
The thing
flash of light.
where Saturn and Jupiter, and it's kind of like a box, and then we're going to be in the center of that magnetism. Well, you know, I got magnets, and I'm going to have to do an experiment to show everybody. But if you put those magnets there and you have one in the center, it's going to fight to go to one of those areas. It's going to literally, you know, spin and do weird things, and that's a good one. I'm going to note to self: make new video.
Yeah. That could be what would cause a strong magnetic move.
Yeah. But the question is, will it affect the Earth? Will it affect us? Is this the part where, you know, I forget which one it was. I watched or read or something, where at some point there was some kind of cataclysm and everybody on Earth went berserko for a short amount of
I
time.
heard about that too.
Yeah.
I did. I've heard about that.
And with the vaccine, I guess I'm not supposed to say that word.
Vaccine.
This gene therapy.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
I just wonder if that, you know, it's kind of like a kill switch or something, or it triggers something in them at a specific time that would make them go berserk. You know, there's lots of Hollywood movies out about stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know. And this is literally once upon a time in the time called Atlantis. There was some similar things happening with trying to develop new species. And you're spot on with that because I saw that.
Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah. And when you get too much technology, the people higher up want to wipe it out because then you get to be up to their level, and they don't want that. Because who wants to give up their power or make you
It's
equal?
the whole story, Robert, of they put Adam to sleep.
Oh.
This
Never
is how
woke him up.
plain as-
He stayed
Right.
asleep.
That's what I mean. They put Adam to sleep because he was too advanced. So putting to sleep meant dumbing down hard,
Hmm.
Spirit
wiping
being.
the brain, the memories, all of it. Yeah. Because they say when Adam rose, he named everything. They didn't have names for anything until Adam named everything. And then as soon as Adam named everything, they put Adam to sleep.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. There's a lot of truth. See, there's a lot of truth hidden in all that stuff, you know,
There
and
is.
and
There's
each
nuggets. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
nuggets in there
Yeah.
that are super valuable.
yeah, and the thing is you know, was it so simple as just that? Probably not, but there's each key word, it means something really good, and you just got to figure it out because
Well, what if this is putting to sleep again?
yeah, could be. It definitely could be.
I
You
think
know.
it is. Like I said, this is not new.
I mean, but think about it. It's like they're intentionally, the people, the powers that be are intentionally got the public dumbed down right now to a point where, you know, we have no attention span. We don't really, I mean, there's people out there that are really smart, trust me. But then there's people out there that think they're smart and they believe they're smart, and yet they just have no common sense. When you tell them something, they're like, no way, I know this. No, you don't. You're looking at it in a wrong way. Why? Because I was taught that. It said it in the book. I got my book and it says right there, you know, it's in the book. Well,
Yeah, you just can't, there's no need to communicate with people that have that mindset. You're not going to get through to them.
yeah.
But another thing about the Tartary Empire is they had free energy. The buildings were designed so that, like, there was antennas, you know, that captured the energy. So of course they need to obscure and hide that from us.
Well, yeah, because they can't put a meter on it and charge you for it to keep up with the system. Well, that's not well, and by on the same point is if you look back at all those other societies, you know, that built these giant buildings and things like that, they must have had something to move that stuff with, and they must have done things differently. Just think of our society today, how productive we could be if we didn't have to work so hard to just pay for living.
Yeah.
We could invent, I mean, imagine having a vehicle that didn't, you know, got free power and you could just drive wherever you want, go wherever you want, lift a big building if you want. You wouldn't need all the stuff you got.
How Elon Musk has come up with the Tesla electric cars. There's a picture in the, I think, 1900s. We don't really know what date it is, but anyway, it was a very old picture. Cars were plugged in. There was electrical outlets all over the street, but I mean, it wasn't like electric like we have, but there was electric cars a long time ago. So this isn't something new that Elon Musk has created.
They keep showing me this. They're like, this is the whole, there's nothing new under the sun. It might have a little variation to it, but it is the same exact process over and over and over again. We are definitely at the end of the game.
Yeah. Well, they're
for sure.
That is for sure. See, now when the cars were invented, a third of them were steam. I looked this up. A third of them were steam, a third of them were electric, and a third of them were gas. Yeah. The only reason gas won out is because it was easy and portable, and there was a lot of it in the ground. The electric cars couldn't win out because they couldn't keep the battery. The batteries were, you know, they didn't.
Enough.
Yeah, the electric cars were more powerful. They didn't break down. They all these good things. It was a really good invention. It's just that the batteries couldn't sustain a charge for as long, and you can only go, you know, 100 miles. And then for the longest time, that's still all you can go is 100 miles. I mean, it's still not that great. How far
That's
can you
the
go on a
battery.
Tesla? Yeah, it's still a
Tesla
battery. And steam was really powerful. It was really quiet. But then again, you couldn't like take a steam car and live in North Dakota where it freezes in the winter and your stuff all freezes up, because it's water, you see, and water freezes. And then besides that, they had problems with things blowing up, and you had to use gas anyway to power up your steam car or, some other material, you had to still heat water to make the thing go. So then if you're going to use gas to heat the water, you might as well use gas to power the vehicle. See, so therefore the gas motor won out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and all it is, it's this. It's about the money.
Definitely.
You know.
The gas is about money mainly.
Yeah, but see, people don't realize now they want everybody to drive an electric car, and the point behind it is as I see it,
It's just really weird. You know what I just saw in my mind's eye?
But
Instead of the petrodollar, now it's going to be bits of energy, like batteries.
could be
It's the new money.
your allotment. Well, that's the car. Well, that's the carbon,
Batteries.
the carbon tax.
So
Remember
that's
the
what I'm
carbon?
thinking. I'm like, oh shit.
Well, that's
we're going to be like a crypto coin ourselves.
well, but what you just said, that's the carbon allotment they were talking about. So if you are only allowed so much carbon usage, they turn your electricity off once you run out of carbon credits. So, well, I charged my car this week and then I couldn't have my lights on in my house. So you're stuck. But people don't realize that if you have an electric car, you're not going to be able to go places yet. Take your Tesla and try to drive from here and drive to Florida or put on 800 miles in a day. Can you do it? No, because you're stuck. You're stuck.
The Tesla charging stations everywhere.
Yeah.
They are putting them up everywhere.
Yeah, but how long does it take you to charge your car? 15 minutes? Be on the road? No. You can't charge that car up in 15
I've rode
minutes.
in one before. They're very smooth.
Oh yeah, probably real quiet too. And
Yeah.
I don't blame somebody for buying one of those. And you can drive around town, you can go places. But if you want to go on a trip, or if you got a long distance to travel, you're out of luck. What are you gonna do? Take a bus, plane, things like that? Yeah, take a
What's
train.
crazy is Mercedes has the hybrids and they have both. They have the battery system, and then if the battery goes low, you can switch it over to fuel.
You have to. Now that's got to be the way to go, because
Mercedes, of course.
yeah, I mean, there's several of them like that, but the thing is, the hybrid, you'd have to, because there's just no way you're going to charge those batteries, that fast. And then the thing is when those battery, I've seen some of those electric cars and they last and they drive and they're good and everything. Well, when the batteries go bad, the batteries will cost you more than what the car is worth to replace.
Yep.
You just chunk it.
People don't realize there's a lot of stuff going on now with batteries. There's a lot of batteries that are being put into people's bodies, specifically the head region. And a lot of people don't realize what happens to people when the batteries stop working.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all great.
Well, I prefer to teleport as far as travel goes. So
Me too.
that's how I want to travel. Sort of
Gets
teleport.
Gets you there fast.
There's people that claim that they have had those abilities, the ascended masters and stuff. They say they can do that and bilocate, transport. I hope we can do that someday.
Well, the CIA document that was released, we're all supposed to be able to,
Yes.
what is that called?
Bilocate.
You can see, what'd you say?
Bilocate, go from one point to another.
Yes, we can all astral project.
Yes.
Supposedly we were born with those abilities.
Yes.
To do that.
I believe that.
Why we're not doing it? I think it has a lot to do
because
with the
we're told-
frequency here. Yeah, and we don't
We're
realize that
little.
we can.
Yeah, we're told when we're little not to knock it off and to stop that. And that's imagination.
Oh yeah, I was told, I have astral projected since I was a young child. I remember it and I know that I can do it.
Yeah.
Was told in church that that's evil. That's
Right.
wrong. Don't do that. You know,
That
you're being
totally
attacked by demons.
Yeah. And that's what did it. I mean, it's that simple, but it was that one time somebody said that one thing to you, it shut you off. And that's all it takes when you're little. Because when we're little, we just want to make people happy, and we want to do good because we want to be like, Mom, look at me, look at me, look at me. You know, or that's how you are when you're a little kid. You want to be acknowledged and you want to be seen. And I think it's because you are separate for the first time. You come out of the oneness type of energy into the full separation energy, which is identity, ego. Hello.
Well, it was something I just did naturally as a child, so I don't know how it could be evil. I didn't do it
That's
with
what I mean,
intention.
Marsha. I had the same thing. My spirit guide was the Lord. And I mean, I'd never been to church. I didn't have nothing. So this was just part of me. It was completely natural, completely organic, not taught, not none of that. So
Yeah.
we definitely can do these things when we're little and strong when we're little. I remember it.
Mm. Yep.
It was powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. It's amazing. Amazing. Yeah. I
We
was
can
always,
understand the animals. We literally we had so much more awareness than we do now because the only way I can explain it is because somehow when you're little, you know you're playing a character. I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew.
and
Yeah.
as you get older,
And
the-
like when we're little, we play
crowd.
cowboys and Indians, and we get up, and we dress up, we love costumes. That's I'm telling you because we know when you're little, you know, but you just forget.
Yeah, because if you play that character too long, you
Kind of the
you
character.
absorb that character and it
Yeah.
becomes you. You know, like these actors that what do? They want to play. I've seen this many a times. They're going to go play a cop role or they're going to go play whatever. So they go out and ride with the cops and pretend they're a cop, and then they go and act in the movie like a cop because they've absorbed, you know, that mentality, that being, you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And they become a cop. Now I
Yeah.
can act like a cop because I know what a cop really looks and acts like and what he does and his mannerisms and things like that, you know. And
Absolutely.
but if you do it too long,
I know what I was trying to think of, remote viewing.
remote.
Supposedly we all have that ability to remote view.
Yeah.
I've practiced with it a little bit.
Me too, a little bit. And most of the time it wasn't on purpose.
What was I gonna say? It was the remote viewing. Yeah, shout out to Max, you know, from remote,
Yeah,
remote
Max
view.
is awesome.
Yeah, I gotta get
I
him on the
love
show
what he's
because
doing with that.
he is awesome. I love getting on there. I always seem to miss a show, but when I do get on there, it's really great because it really makes your mind think. And
Who is Max?
Max Vision,
Max remote vision.
yeah, he does remote viewing classes. Like
Remote
he
view.
picks stuff and
Yep.
does it, you know, and then he makes you think, and then you're supposed to write down the number and try to figure out what it is. And he's just got that voice, that nice, calm, quiet voice. And
Everybody
so-
that does it too, they say, you know,
Mm.
like not all the time they're spot on, but most of the time they're like getting the same information, but everybody sees it a little bit different, but it seems to have that similar resonance. It's so amazing how you get to see the different angles of God through
Yeah.
all the different perspectives of the same thing, and they're all getting the information through different data points in their consciousness. So
Mhm.
everybody's getting it in different ways, but it's all bringing forth the same essence or energy of what they're identifying. And they usually do pretty good.
Yeah, I've done it on his show there, you know, where, you know, I got a little whiteboard here, you know, with the, you know, you put on your refrigerator and a little whiteboard, and I write down the numbers and I draw pictures, what I'm seeing. I close my eyes, and it's really cool. Yeah, so if anybody hasn't done it, it's a lot of fun too. It is. It really is. It's something you can do by yourself, kind of watching the show with Max, and he's really good about it. He praises, he watches the comments, and you're right. Everybody who's on there who's got, you know, he never says, "Oh, that's crap." He always says, "Hey, that's good." You know, let's put that down. You guys put together something really nice, and you know, that was really close. Good job, you know, and I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah,
He's awesome.
a good teacher, and he's got a lot of compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a very good job with that. Max, right on. Seriously.
Yeah.
You really have a knack for what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely. He's awesome. Yeah. So,
Talented.
like I said, if I can catch him, a lot of times it's late at night. Sometimes, you know, it's earlier in the day, and you know, I'm working and I miss it, and I don't know why I miss it, but you know, when I do catch it, I really love it. So, you know, so if you guys haven't checked that out, check that out. You know, it's a good one. You know, watch one of his old shows, see how it's done, and just try it.
And
What the heck?
just try.
You know, we're going to do that on here too, because I'm going to try to order some of those cards like Wayne's got, you know, and we're going to do that because that is we'll have like our weekly card, and I'll have one of those. But no, we need to work on our minds, because right here, this is the only thing we really got. That's these and this is our best tools.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you on the purple planet later.
Right
yeah,
on.
I'll be on that beach there, or maybe we should head over to Wayne's, you know, on his
Hey,
beach.
Wayne,
I always go to the beach.
The beach,
have a
yeah.
good day. Wayne's Beach. We can all find that place.
You know why I would like Wayne's Beach? Because I know he's going to be playing some really cool music all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine the joy?
Yes. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, with that, you know, we've had a really good show, and Marsha, I know it's late for you. You're the hardest working gal, I tell you. You know, make some good stuff and everybody enjoys. So go check Marsha's stuff out. You know, maybe you're right. You were talking about that pendant. I want to get a pendant.
I'll send you one.
Maybe you talked me into it, I think, you know, because I'm thinking, you know, because I'm not a jewelry guy. I'm sorry. It just,
I have a very masculine looking one.
Yeah,
you got a masculine looking one?
Like I say though, Robert, they go inside and you can't see them because if they're long, you don't even see
Well, the one Wayne has, it looks really, I think it looks good on a man. It's
you
got
know,
that black,
he loves it. He really loves it.
It's got the black shungite stone in it, so
yeah,
it looks very manly.
It does.
Yeah. I gotta have a masculine.
Yes. That would be appropriate for you, Robert.
Well,
Big Al and Perry wear my pendants, and they get compliments on them. And I had somebody message me last week, I think it was, asking me about my pendants. They were so impressed with it.
Absolutely.
They had never seen. I think it was the Anta Corona one.
Yep. Yep. They're beautiful. And they're powerful. The energy's good. They work.
Yeah, I love to just stare at it.
I do too.
You know, like the one I made for Wayne. I've made them for other. I've made a lot of them, but it's got the Anta Corona inside the Sri Yantra. I call it a meditation disc because I mean you could just like stare at it and kind of get into this altered state of mind.
You know, you're glow in the dark ones, like the Milky Way pendant that you got for the Milky Way messenger one.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that they glow. And the new pyramid that you had that glows, I love that too. I don't know why, but to look into something at night when it's glowing, it's magical to me.
I know. Like I'll sleep with one on that glows.
I do all the time.
That was a request of Brian Barnett, Milky Man. He wanted me to make those. He was always sending me pictures. Hey, can you make this? Yeah, let me find the stuff. So that's his creation.
I love it. It's one of my most favorite pieces. And I think it's because it illuminates. It lights from inside. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this has been very interesting, and I tell you, it is. I learned a lot, and thank you very much, Trina. We'll see you on Wayne's on Tuesday. Then
Yeah.
you gonna make another video? I miss all your little videos that you were making there.
I know. I just, I think my intuition told me just to lay low for a little bit, and now we see all this weird stuff going on. So I think that was on purpose, because I have been told when I do start putting some stuff back out, it might be really fun, because I'm going to have to get creative, and it might have to be told in story and metaphor. So this is going to be interesting.
That'll be interesting. I'm really looking forward to that.
I think
Awesome.
I think it's always the way it has to be done at the end of the ages.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know David Null had a show on today about the end of days. And
wow,
you know, it was good, and he had a lot to say, but I really, he's right. It's the end of the, like you said, the end of days and the age, but it's not the end of us. It's, people have to realize that we're not going to end. The way we live, we act, what's going on in our world, that may change a lot, and you could call it the end of days. It may be, well, you can't go to the grocery store like you used to, or
many people will be leaving the planet, though.
Yeah, that too, but I'm saying is that the way we do things and conduct ourselves now is not going to be the way we do it in the future.
We might be going back to the ways of the ancients.
Who knows?
That's what I think, and that was.
Hey, I'm all for it.
Ancient ways.
I just have to retrain.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I think too, when we get back into the ancient ways and all those things, so they trigger our memories, and this is what we're doing. Yeah, this is why they call it the Great Awakening. It's the remembering of your Akashic memory, which is ancient. So
genetic bloodline.
Part of it, yeah.
All right. Well, with that, thank you to everybody in the chat. All the ones that joined us a little late, and thanks for staying up with us. And Danny Skylark, Paul Joe, Mary Wins joined us, Jake Lester, Brandy Robinson. Man, everybody came in a little late. Delaney Pearl Jones. Elderberry, Joe Sapien came in a little later, and Saturnian Sun. And let's see, Deborah Truax was here, and Doug Stack says he's got his phone ready and everything, and we're going to try to hook up. And Doug Stack I'm going to have Doug Stack on one of these days real soon, so be looking forward to that. All right, everyone. Thank you. Be the frequency you want to receive. I love you all. Night.